Lots of your novels are based in a dystopian society. We as humans take comfort in believing that the future will be right in the present or the past. Post-Trump, do you believe this?
Having seen the pushback, I actually am quite hopeful, because although there is this desire to roll time back, you also see a lot of people saying, no, that is not going to happen. But it is a struggle. You know, right now there are two opposing forces. And of course you're optimistic, because the mere act of writing is an act of optimism. Think of all the ways in which it is hopeful. First of all, you set out to write a book, you believe you're going to finish it. That's pretty hopeful. Then you believe that once you finish it, it's going to be good. That's hopeful too. Then you believe someone will want to publish it. Even more hopefulness. And then you believe if it's published, somebody will want to read it, which is very hopeful indeed. So just writing something down presumes a future reader. You don't write things down if you think nobody will ever read them. It might be you at a future time. It might be you reading your own diary that you wrote 5 years ago. But just recording it means you believe that in the future somebody will be reading it, and that's a pretty hopeful thing. And I think we've seen some books and things coming along that you might call relatives of The Handmaid's Tale. Because remember, it was published first in 1985, which is quite a long time ago. And at the time, quite a few people said, this will never happen. This will never happen in the United States. Jump cut to 32 years later. What can I tell you? It's happening. Not quite the same way, and not with the outfits. But there's been a rollback of women's rights and a pushback, and we're seeing that happening before our very eyes, which is why people, apart from the fact that it's a very good TV series, that's why people got so involved in it.
I love The Handmaid's Tale, and I also watched the Hulu series, and I'm extremely eager to find out what's happening in season 2. What was it like having to continue the story after finishing the book?
Well, luckily it's not me doing it. There's a writing room which has about 10 people in it. And the head of it is a person called Bruce. And then there's a number of other people, most of whom are female. Bruce said that he thought that he hired all these female writers and thought they would agree with one another, but that wasn't the case, since women are people. So they thrash it out. They have a general story arc, and then they break it down into scenes, and they each go off and they write a scene, and then they bring it back and they all discuss it. So it is a group activity. I get to read the script, but I don't have any control. So I have no veto. No writer of a novel ever does when it's a matter of a film or television, because it's classic that writers don't like the product. And imagine if they had a veto, they could say, "Well, I don't approve of this, and we're canceling this multi-million-dollar project." So that's why they never do. But I'm pretty close to Bruce Miller, and we talk on the phone quite a bit. So I have input, but I don't have final say. And when you're making a series like that, there is no one person. There's no one person who has total control, because when you think of all the people involved in it, and any one of those links might be weak. I think we've been very lucky. We've had an excellent team. In season 2, they've been very faithful to the main idea, which is nothing goes in that doesn't have a precedent in real life, somewhere, sometime. So they have a research team. Justify this to me. They will say, okay, so here's where it happened.
Okay, Okay, well, thank you so much.
And
for being
thank
like-
you.
like, it's been an absolute honour and blessing. You're honestly one
thank
of my
you.
favourite authors. So just thank you for this
Thank you, and
opportunity.
very good luck with your writing and everything that you're doing.